I am a fan of Ducky 3D, and I do have his motion graphic course. So I was going through this, and this was one of the things he did this in cycles. So of course, me doing Octane, I want to see, can I do this in Octane Blender? I was able to achieve that. This is not the full animation. He has this full looping animation. My major concern was just the actual materials and following along with that. Sorry guys, sorry. Grab your cup of coffee and let's go. I've already finished it. Let me quickly show you what's going on here. We've basically set up this geometry here in the node editor here. I make this kind of full screen here if you guys want to kind of screenshot that. That's what's going on here. So this is what we're using. Bada bing, bada boom to set all that up. Let me show you guys the shader setup. This is the full shader setup. For those of you guys who are in the community, I will have this file available. And for those of you who are not, I will post a photo of this setup here, okay? And again, here is the plane. And as far as world setup, I have it's just a black world, no lighting. Why is it still showing the material? Oh, I know why, because in the Geo nodes, it's set. Okay, so let me get a new material. I'm gonna call this Geo 2. And we're gonna start off with that there. And then I'm gonna go back to my Geo nodes, come in here, and I'm gonna change this material set Geo 2. Okay, now we come back over here to shading and fire this up. This should be nothing, right? Yep, there it is. So the way we're going to do this, the first thing we need, we've already got one material here. So we're gonna use this material. I'm gonna go full screen. And what we're gonna do here is we basically just we want to build the emission first, okay? So what we're going to do is come in here, go to emission. I'm just going to do a texture emission because I want to play with the colors on this one, right? So we're going to do this blue kind of teal color, right? And I'm going to crank this thing up here to maybe like 3000. All right, so I've got this emission going on here. And then from the emission, wave texture, because we're going to do this wave pattern that's going to come inside of here, right? We're going to come in here, shift, we're going to go wave pattern. There's our wave pattern. And then what we're gonna also need is, of course, a gradient map. Oh, Blender crashed. The music in this video was provided by Artlist. Take a look down in the description. I have a link that you can use and get 2 additional free months added to your subscription. Rinse, repeat. We're gonna put that emission on it. Emission, blue. I'm gonna save just in case I do it again. Bring in a gradient map. Next, we're gonna bring in a wave generator, or wave pattern, sorry. Okay, good. Now that we got this going on, it seems like it's gonna hold up. I'm gonna take this right here, this gradient map, and I'm gonna plug it into transmission property. I'm gonna plug it into the opacity. Now, what I've been doing recently is I always just come in here and click on that and do that. Well, I just got a new tip from somebody in the community. Hold shift, hold alt, right mouse click, hold, drag over, release, and now we can just drop it straight in here. You can choose and put it where you want it to put. So it's a lot easier and a lot quicker, especially when you're not using this big node right here. For example, when you're using a smaller node, it's really convenient. Now what we're gonna do, for example, I'm gonna again, shift alt, drag, over, release. I'm gonna plug this into input texture. Boom, just like that, love it, cool. Now let's see what we've got going here. Let's fire up the render. Okay, good, so that's what we got going. This is the wave pattern that we got going. But we want these waves to like conform to the geometry, which it's not doing at the moment. What we're going to do next is I'm going to come in here. I'm going to add in a XYZ projection, XYG projection. And then from here, I'm going to actually click on this one again, XYG transform. I'm going to go to 3D transform. Boom, boom, boom. We got those going there. Next is I'm going to change this right here from X to Z. And now you can kind of see what's happening. We can see it's kind of like conforming to the geo, to the displacement. But what I want to do is let's crank on that a little bit because I need to flip it. I probably need to flip it. Let's go ahead and flip the ramp. And then let's take the black value and crunch it down. And there we go. See what we're doing now? We're isolating that a little bit there, like controlling it, okay? I changed this from sine, I went to saw, like that. And then I think I even changed the black and white values on here. I think I just changed this to black. Yeah, and then I changed this one here to white. Then we go to saturation. Put that to 0. Okay, now it really defines it, right? So that's what we got going here. That's conforming to the geo, and then it's actually going up and down to the displacement map. I think I also changed the size over here. I think I had went down to like 0.4. Yeah, and that just makes it smaller, so we're getting more of the lines like that. That looks cool. What we're going to need to do next is we're gonna add in the top part, like this orange color here, opposite. I'm gonna go here and add in a material, mixed material. We need the mixed material because we're gonna make a second material And our second material, what we're going to need, we're going to add in another gradient map. Then we're also going to need a gradient generator. And this is like your what you use to generate a gradient map in cycles, right? This is our gradient generator. So we're going to plug that into the texture. What we're going to do, actually, this is going to be for our, I'm actually a little bit ahead of myself. This is going to be into our amount here, okay? But hang on, let me get back to our first material because we're going to make this our second material. Okay, so let's save that for a moment here. Let's go ahead and bring in another universal material. I'm going to shift drag this one up here because it's already condensed down. What we're going to do on this one here, we're going to give this one pretty much the same setup. Take this, I'm going to drag this, duplicate this, and then I'm going to press Shift Alt, right middle mouse, drag, release. I'm going to go down to the emission, scroll down to admission. I think it was faster just to plug it in. Admission, but I'm just trying to build this new habit of using this because it is quicker once I get the hang of it. Once we got that, then I'm going to need to also do this one just needs to be color. This one's just going to be the color. So let's go to change it to like orange or something. And then we're going to plug this one actually into slot 2. And then this one's going to be slot 1, actually slot first material, right? And this is going to be second material. And I'm just going to drag that down here just so I can visually see that. Now we're going to do on this top here. Here's our top part. And let's quickly just save and just let's see what we've got going here. We just have a mixture of basically 2 emissions. That's all we're really looking at right now. And there it is, 2 emissions, right? Nothing special. On this other mid system, we're going to crank this up to like 1,000, not 100, 1,000. Okay, good. Up on this top one, I'm going to plug this into the amount. Scroll this down into there. I'm going to crush some values. I'm going to flip this ramp here, and then I'm going to crush some values again. And then what we need to do is, again, we need to flip this gradient map. Okay, so what I did also on this gradient map here, or gradient generator, I selected this should be 1, this goes all the way down to 3, which is the minimum amount. I added in a UV transform, and then I went to this middle one and I went 90. Actually, no, I didn't do that first. I needed to add in a projection. There's our XY projection. Then I'm going to plug this into there, let it do its thing. It says waiting. Okay, boom, there we go. So now this is the part that really baffled me, because when Ducky was doing it on this part, it worked perfectly fine for him. This gradient generator is a little bit more advanced than the gradient generator inside of cycles. Like, we got way more control, we got way more stuff on here, right, to deal with. Mine, for some reason, every time I do this, if you crunch these values, you can see what we're trying to do. I'm just trying to have it on the top here. I'm just trying to have it just on the top of the mountain. But every time I try to do that, it seems like we're getting some other part. See, it's like reversed or it's upside down. And then when I get it to this section here, it's like, okay, that's what I want, but why is this part super, fully lit? Like it's a clipping value or something going on. The way I fix that, let me go ahead and set this back over here, and let me set this back over here. On ours, we have this repetition mode. And right now it's on wrap around. Well, I don't want it to wrap around. I want it to be in mirrored, okay? Now when we have it in mirrored, now I can control it like I would the one in cycles. And now I can just basically, boom, you can see what it's worked. I can control how much of this is gonna be in the actual, the height of it. Like I'm controlling the height and the fall off of it, right? So if I open it all the way up, let it update for a moment, we're just getting it on the tops, but the fall off is very wide and very big and very soft, right? So I can fix that by cranking on the white a little bit. Actually too much there, and just trying to get it to like be on the peaks a little bit. And then this will be really cool, especially if you're doing like a mountain and you want it to have snow on top. This setup was kind of like where you can control it procedurally where you want this snow to kind of be, right? Let me crank it down. Now we're seeing, the more closer I get here, we're getting the very top of it is becoming more fully, to the value, I think 1 or something like that. But basically it's getting brighter, and you can see we're adding more in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this a little bit more towards something like this. And then again, if I want this fall off to happen a little bit more, I can pull this white one down here and just open it up a little bit. You can see now we're going down a little bit more into it, something like that. So let's let this see, and let me go ahead and jump in. Let's save this really quickly, and let's jump into the camera. Okay, so we can really see what we're doing here. Come on, don't crash on me, baby, don't crash. Is it gonna crash? Oh, there it is, nice. So we can see what's happening. Let me go ahead and kill the overlays. Boom, there it is. I'm gonna jump back over to the shading tab one more time, and then I'm gonna crank the value up on that a little bit as far as on that blue layer. So that was this one here. Yeah, this one's set at a 100. I think I had this originally like at 3000. Wow. Okay, now I need to go back and we need to reset our settings here with the bloom. Always with bloom, you want to be subtle with that. Everybody likes to crank that sucker up, you know, but it just makes your render look a little bit cheap, right? So we want to be easy on that stuff here. Divide by half. That's a good rule of thumb. Right when you think you got it where you want it, divide it by half. That looks a lot better, right? I think I like that a lot better. Again, this is something I've been trying to do, is following my favorite YouTubers and seeing if I can convert their cycles video into Octane. And it is a little bit of a pain, but right now, due to some of the skills that I've been learning from the community, I'm able to get it to work. This file will be in the Blender community, the Blender Octane community. And again, like I said, for those of you who are not in the community, I will save the photo for you guys out. But you might want to consider jumping in the community. You should have got in when I sent the free invite. I did send a free invite to everybody. Open up for 2 weeks. I told people, get in, get in. All those people who are in, that got in at the 2 weeks, got in for free. Now I'm telling you now, get in for the $9 because the price will go up in the future. Enough of the jibber jabber and salesman. Patrick LeVar, keep rendering. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. See ya.